Yo, listen, we back at it again. Um, yeah, we fresh
Ah,
off of the initial 53-man roster announcement. So guys, we low-key dropped the ball because we were supposed to do one last final prediction. Um,
listen, it's funny you said that because I thought about it the other day. I was like, oh, we definitely messed that timing up.
yeah, the timing was a little off, but I know that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have because
Now we get fresh reaction, baby.
right, fresh reaction, and that means the season is really creeping up on us. This is us getting closer to single digits, counting off to kickoff, and it's a great feeling. And I mean, honestly, it's already single digits to count off to the NFL kickoff anyway, because we're now less than 10 days away from that. It's just obviously kickoff to when we play on Monday Night Football. But regardless, yes, this will be a reaction video to the initial 53-man roster announcement. We are recording on a Tuesday night. I know we normally drop this on Thursday afternoon. So those who may see this after a couple things done happen, a couple transactions or IR here, IR there, we do apologize in advance because this is a Tuesday night recording. And yeah, we're gonna give y'all fresh shit. We talked about it before a couple weeks ago and last week a little bit. Maybe a little more on the fantasy side, but we ain't really got to touch it if we don't feel like it. But yeah, man. I'll start with the last preseason game, Z.
I'm still here. Camera messing up. We here though.
I got you. I'll start with the last preseason game though, Z. Was there anything that you liked from the last preseason game on Saturday?
Let's throw a hat on real quick.
Sure.
Again, no new major injuries. So
Right.
obviously that was my biggest concern. But I definitely like how the offense came back and just started clicking. After the rough showing in Pittsburgh, uh, I didn't necessarily need to see the starting unit come out in the third preseason game, but once Coach McDermott, said they would be playing, I'm like, all right, cool. Now show yourselves, reassure your team that like, yo, we good, we got it. So the fact that they came out 12, 13-yard drive or 13 play drive right down the field, pick up a couple third downs, punch it into the end zone. It was good to see that offense clicking again. Not that I never really had doubts, but again, it's just still nice to see. So I was excited to see that. It was nice seeing Damian Harris with a
Harris
goal
get in
line
that end zone.
touchdown.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
agree.
like I ain't seen a running back punch one in a long time. So
From the 5, yeah.
yeah, so I can get used to seeing that. I can get used to seeing that. But that was pretty much the biggest takeaway I had from that game. It was good to see the that starting unit go down there and put some points up, and not even necessarily make it look easy because again they had some third downs, they had some conversions they had to do, but again they never looked out of sync. O line held up well. James Cook, didn't have any massive runs, but he still looked quick in between those tackles. So
Right.
Diggs had a couple third down grabs. So I
Right.
saw what I needed to see.
Yeah, almost broke one too.
Yeah, yeah, he was one broken tackle away from tiptoeing into the end zone.
Yeah, he was close. But yeah, I mean, just kind of feeding off what you said. And I do apologize for the background noise because there is some fireworks going on in my backyard. So if you hear
Good
any
shit.
pop, you already know what that is. But no, yeah, I kind of feel like what you were saying. Main thing, as I always say, man, health. Health is wealth, right? Especially going into the season. So good to see, major injuries. Now there's some nixes and bruised players, hamstring injuries. There's a couple small things that we'll have to keep an eye on as we go into week one. But overall, Josh Allen came out healthy.
Yep.
Pitts came out healthy. Davis came out healthy. Greg Rousseau came out healthy. Leonard Floyd came out healthy. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious. The list goes on. So my core guys are completely healthy. And that's what I need going into week one because it's going to be a long season. So that's number one. Number two, like you said, the drive went well. You were able to convert on third down, whether it was third and medium, third and short. You were able to, I think there was a couple second and long situations that they were able to get 5 yards there, get 6 yards there, kind of see what Deontay Hardy can do, picking up a few yards, which is important. And then like you said, punching it in once you get inside that 10-yard line. We know last year some of the difficulties were, all right, we're in the red zone now. Do we need Josh Allen to be Superman, or can we methodically get it inside the 5 and punch it in the end zone? A lot of times last year when we got in the red zone, it was because it was a it was a great play that had to happen just to get in the end zone. When it's like, no, let's play regular football. Let's get 5 here, let's get 10 here, let's get 3 here, let's get 2 here, and let's walk it in. And that's pretty much what happened when they got in the red zone. And I think that's pretty much going to be what you should expect throughout most of the year. Not saying it's going to be fucking easy, but with guys like Damian Harris, with guys like James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, you should be able to find a matchup you like when you get inside that red zone, because now the Bills legit have 6 or 7 good options that they can go to when they get in that area. And on top of having a quarterback who can obviously punch it in. So definitely like that. And then defense too. I'll give them a quick shout out because the first team defense held their own. They got off the field 1, 2, 3 and
Absolutely.
out. Yeah, they got off the field quick. 1, 2, 3 and out. I think the second one, if it
I
wasn't
think second one might have been the same.
yeah, they got him to punt the ball, and that was good to see. Good to see Benford in there getting his snaps early, showing what he's made of. And I'll continue to say this. I know I'll always come off like I hate all the other corners not named Kyer Elam, but it's still good to see that we got valuable corners on the outside. We've always kept a good nickel or two, and of course, shout out to Tre'Davious White. But I think for the first time in like 4 or 5 years, I think most fans are pretty confident with the number 2 spot. Like, I mean, you can have your favorite. If your favorite is Dane, cool. If your favorite is Benford, cool. If your favorite is
You're not
Jair,
gonna give a special shout out to Dane? Come on,
nah,
man.
no special shout out. But like I said, Dane is he's Mr. Reliable when it comes to what you're gonna get. He ain't gonna give up too much. Maybe a contested catch here and there. Not gonna really get beat deep. Plays zone coverage well. He tackles well. So it is what it is. Obviously me, I like athletes on the outside, so I love what Kyer brings from the athlete standpoint. Lynn being able to track the ball in the air, but Benford is the same way. Benford actually has more size than Elam, so good to see like I said, good to see what came out of there from Benford. I think the defensive line looks very much like they're ready. Greg Rousseau. Obviously we'll get on Boogie Bash in a second, but the defensive tackles looked at, I think, pretty like they looked better than they did against Pittsburgh. They didn't get swallowed up. Yeah, I
Right.
mean, at the point of attack. So yeah, I say all that to say. Shout out to I'll give one shout out to Evans though, the running back, who will likely be on our practice squad.
And that's
Um,
a hell of a run.
hell of a run, man.
That touchdown run, that was a grown man run right there. Everything that run got me up off my seat off the couch.
Yeah, I was at work and my guy James, who I work with, man, he hit me over the mic and he said, "Yo, Val, you got to see this run." So I came out the break room. I don't know where I was at actually, and I just stood in front of the TV. I said, "Let me see what you're talking about." Then I saw it. I was like, "Oh, all
Yeah,
right." He shook off like five months.
yeah, that run had me flexing in the living room.
Yeah, and that's good to see too, because you want to have good depth at every position, whether it's practice squad or not. Like, don't get me wrong, he may get picked up this week by another team, but if he's not picked up, guess what? Perfect candidate to put on your practice squad, and you can protect them every week if you want to. There's no rules on who you can protect, pretty much, I believe. So I would love him as a running back 4 on the practice squad. Because running backs get bruised up. We know it. A
Mm-hmm.
hamstring here, a shoulder injury here, they get nicked up. So if we can keep them close, obviously we got to watch for teams like the Giants. We know the Panthers got the connection through us, so we'll watch those teams. But yeah, let's get right to the nitty gritty though. 53 man. Anything catch you off guard? We'll start with Devon Miller. I know most people thought it was trending. I mean, I think it was 50-50 for most people, but how do you feel
Yeah,
about
I
Devon
feel
Miller?
like this is I don't think this is out of the ordinary. Like I feel like this was still the expectation before the season started or before like even off season started. I feel like the only reason people felt otherwise is because Vaughn is Vaughn. Vaughn is
He don't know how to shut up.
He's a big personality. He's extremely positive. So,
Right.
he's putting the good vibes out there saying, I'm gonna be ready. So, that kind of gets people excited and thinking he may be ready. But again, excuse me, the Bills are known for, playing the short or playing the long game.
Right.
I don't want to say they're overly cautious, but they're gonna make sure that they give the player the time to not just be ready, but time to ramp up, get up to game speed and be ready to roll. So,
Right.
you know, this that normal mindset that they have, plus the defensive end depth that they have, I felt like it was, I'm definitely not gonna say easy decision, but having the depth that they do made this decision easier. It's not
Yeah.
like it's Von or nothing. So, I'm not surprised that he's down on the pup. And again, those first 4 games he's down. Week 5 is out in London. So I doubt they're gonna have him fly all the way out there for his first game. Stay here,
I'm
rest up another week.
I'm gonna tell you like this: if I had to guess, it's Week 6 against the Giants on Sunday Night Football
Yeah, that's my guess too. Because
at
again,
home.
because it's London, so like I'm not flying my man all the way to
Yeah,
London
yeah, not the
for
track
that.
down Trevor Lawrence. Nah, that's what I got Greg Rousseau and Leonard Floyd for.
Yeah, like
But
nah, rest up here, Brody. Get ready for that week, and then week 6,
Week
Sunday night.
6, Sunday Night Football. Let's get it.
Yeah,
Um,
not lights back on. So that's kind of my expectation for Vine.
yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. Because again, he still can't even practice until that week 5. So
Right.
if he comes back in week 6, that kind of gives him 2 weeks to ramp up, and you know
Yeah,
he'll
I'm with you on that, man. Like I was, I had a little bit of hope that
yeah,
maybe they could
no
pull it
hope.
off. But
Yeah,
but when he didn't practice, honestly, really I really want to say last 6, 7 days, I was like, the man ain't had no full pads on. He ain't did nothing. So I'm like, it's looking real dim for Monday Night Football. So I'm just like, they'll probably, if he's not ready for a week 1 game, they'll probably just say, let's forget the 4.
yeah. I feel like I never really had any expectation of him being ready for week 1. I thought if anything, they would keep him on the 53, be inactive for a week or two, maybe come in, obviously before week 4, but
Right.
I think week 1 was always like a real long shot. But I thought if he was really close,
Mhm.
they may just keep him on the active roster, keep him inactive for a couple weeks. But this is probably the smart way to do it because again, we want him in as much as possible, but that back end of the schedule in the playoffs is when you really need him to be
Yeah,
ready.
listen,
All
and
cylinder.
that's what I was going to get into too. Not only do we have the depth, but we also have a team that's competing for a chance to be playing in February. And when you got a group of guys like they got, veteran guys, I mean, really, if you look at it, half of their core are now veterans. They're now 27 and over. From Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs to Tre'Davious White, these guys are now all 5+ years in the league. So the more rest, the better for everybody, really. But you obviously you can't rest Josh, you can't rest Tre'Davious. So anytime you got one of your core guys hurt, it's probably best if it's early in the season to get them rested now. Just because you have a team that's going to be competing for a championship. So it is what it is. As a honest Bills fan, and as I like to call myself Mr. Positive. I'm looking at it like, hey, you got the last 12 games of the year, you got the playoffs, you can still have a heavy impact when it matters. And guess what? If you're a young guy like Greg Rousseau, you already seen one of your homies leave. This is a great chance for you to even elevate your game. You got close last year, and he dealt with some injuries we know throughout the season, but this is a great chance for Greg to really say, you know what, yo, Von, I got you. You've been pouring in me now for about 1.5 years. I'm gonna do my part. Leonard Floyd, I already know. He probably telling Von, you already know what I'm here to do. We here to get another one together, so I got you. And AJ Epinesa, this is another chance for you to fight for another contract. Because
Mhm.
it was really up, it was really a toss up, so to speak, between him and Boogie. I think the only edge is that Epinesa did show real true signs last year by getting 6 sacks. Boogie had a great summer, but it's like AJ at least came alive in some games last year to make the coaches probably believe, like, all right, you know what I mean? Maybe we can do something with your 6'5" too. 65 frame, and maybe you can become a big part of this rotation this year. So it's going to be exciting to see how this young D line, well, I shouldn't even say young D line, but this mixture does, because they have a tall task week one. We already know. You got to stop the run against the Jets, but you also got to impact the passing game when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. And we'll get more into our linebacker discussion soon. Now, speaking of Boogie, any type of feelings you had on that trade?
I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, shit, it is what it is. You know,
This,
I feel like he put his best foot forward this year. Feel like he was trending in the right direction, but at the end of the day, I feel like they probably felt that Kingsley Jonathan was either neck and neck or close enough
close
that it
enough.
may be expendable. So shit, at the end of the day, it's like, bro, if you feel like somebody else is there and you can get something for him, so let it happen. I mean, it sucks that a former second round pick is only worth a six, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, um, we all knew that,
Yeah, the potential was there for that. All the writing was on the wall for
yeah, the
somebody.
writing was all for somebody in that defensive end group to get
It
more.
was too much talent to just cut for nothing. So it's like shit. If I can get something for somebody that may not make the team, and at this point, Kingsley Jonathan, he not getting to the practice squad.
Right. Yeah.
If
Yeah. Nah,
if you
somebody picking them up, whether it's Carolina, Houston, one of them
anybody,
young.
yeah. So
Yeah, one of
so
them young teams gonna get him on the team, and he gonna get 7, 8, 9 sacks with them boys because he got that motor. That's one thing. If you've watched him play a few times, he'll flash enough to make you be like, "Oh yeah, he wanted them." If he had snaps,
even in the games he got in last year, he
yeah,
made his presence felt.
yeah, he wanted them dogs, and shout out to him because he wanted them Syracuse players too. So
Earned
no
that
doubt,
spot. He earned it. It
yeah,
wasn't
and
given.
we know why Shaq on there, right? You know, what I mean, veteran. You know what you're gonna get. I always go back to a couple games. I go back to Baltimore last year. I go back to even some games against Kansas City I can think of. The physical games
Listen,
against
like
Tennessee,
when Von,
Dallas.
I think Shaq the one out.
What you mean?
Somebody got to get cut when Von Miller hit this active roster.
Oh, when he hit the I mean, I don't know where I stand on that yet. I just think going through week one through week four will maybe give us a better idea of that, because we'll be able to see the rotation the first 4 weeks to see. Because guess what? By week four, week five, maybe Jonathan can, slip for that quick second and come back on your practice squad, and you can't protect him. Maybe not. But I think the rotation the first couple of weeks will let us know everything, because guess what? If Shaq ain't suited up on one of those weeks, because remember now, they got 5 defensive ends on the roster right now. So if Shaq ain't suited up, that'll answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Because they going to suit up 5D tackles. I don't see Tim Settle, Jordan Phillips, one of those guys just not
Oh,
suiting up.
yeah.
So I see them suiting up 5 DTs. I see them suiting up 4 defensive ends. One of them not going to be dressed. Like I said, whether it's Kingsley Jonathan, whether it's Shaq, one of them. Because I know Epinesa going to be in the rotation. I know, of course, Floyd probably starting week one with Greg Rousseau. If I had to guess, I don't want to just give it to Floyd, but I think Floyd would be starting week one with Greg Rousseau. So, but it'll be interesting. That's something to keep an eye on. Maybe that's something we'll revisit in a couple of weeks after Monday Night Football, and we just be like, oh, Shaq was not dressed. So we'll see. I think that's a week by week thing. And again, it's great to have strength in an important position. I say it all the time. I'd rather have a bunch of great corners and a bunch of great DNs than not have none at all.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So yeah,
It's uh,
yeah, but we'll move around though. Obviously the other position that took a couple hits, offensive line. Any surprises there for you?
yes and no. I thought Questenberry was someone that can go either way, but I really feel like this wasn't necessarily him not playing good or playing up to his potential. I think this is Alec Anderson playing itself onto a roster. So
Right. And the guy Vandermark, that's his name.
yeah, I feel like Vandermark kind of took that swing tackle job a couple weeks ago. I kind
Right.
of felt he started to solidify that because he was always the first tackle in once Brown or Dawkins came off the field. So I kind of feel like he's been, kind of penciled in as that swing tackle for the last couple of weeks. But I
Right.
honestly felt like it was that last spot was probably down to Quessenberry and Alec Anderson. And, you know, he's been playing all five positions across the line. Young cat, versatility.
Yeah.
And, Barry's a vet. He's played guard and tackle. But
Yeah.
again,
And,
you
and I
know,
think they're looking at upside too, right? You know what I mean? You got so many positions on the team that were stacked, let's say. And I'm not to say the tackle position was stacked on our team, but our offensive line group as a whole was stacked. I remember coming into our 53-man projection just last month, it was like 14 names, and I'm like, damn, I can barely get this down to 9. Because it was a lot of different names in there, from Butker to this guy, that guy, Dave Edwards. So it was a lot going on there. And that was back when we had Brandon what's his name, Shell Snell. But
yeah, yeah.
obviously since then, 2 of those guys are gone. We go with the guys that you mentioned, but then also too, obviously about an hour or two before we started recording today, they picked up the offensive tackle who they said spent some time with the Falcons, the Lions. I think they pronounce the name. What is it? Jermaine Ifede?
That would have been my guess. I haven't heard
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
so I
I haven't heard the pronunciation, y'all. So if I butchered it, I'm sorry. But we did sign an offensive tackle who is supposed to be on the 53-man roster by tomorrow.
yeah,
Um,
because after the cuts and stuff they made today, I mean, there was still a roster spot because
right.
everybody that was there with the report that Justin Shorter and Balen Spector is going to be expected to go on IR. You
Yeah.
know, Blake.
The main thing that I took away though from the signing though, I saw that he started 83 games in the league and he's a former first round pick. So what that gives me is one or the other. Either they think he can bring more to the table than Quesenberry, or they like the amount of starts that he's adding to that group, just in case there is a need to make a switch mid-season, or just in case there's an injury, because we all know injuries happen. Left tackle, right tackle. You do not want one of your tackles to go down, and you just like, all right, Alec Anderson, you gotta go over there. Or all right, what you say the other guy name is Vandermark? All right, Vandermark. All right, it's January 16th. I need you to handle this while we go up against Cincinnati. Like, nah, you need some experience in that room. And I think after Brandon went and retired, and after you make the decision to let go of Quisenberry, they probably said to themselves, we need a veteran tackle in this room. So if Dawkins is down, if Brown goes down, we got a guy who can step up in a meaningful game and play ball. Hey, we love projects. We like upside. Alec Anderson, I like the upside. Homie Vandermark, love the upside. Shout out to them guys too. They was just in my store. I found out after I left. They were in my store. I guess after they made the 53, they might have said Connor McDermott sent them boys over. So like 3 of the offensive linemen was in my store when I left earlier. But yeah, so you got some upside in the room now, and you also got a guy coming in there that you're signing with 80 plus starts.
Which
And
is to have somebody with
right,
that much.
right. And when you're a championship contending team, you need that. You need that balance. Like, yeah, I need young, talented players with upside, but I also need veterans. Excuse me, y'all. I'm over here dying. I'm gonna let you talk, Z. Any other group that caught you off guard? I'm dying.
Um, Linebacker a little bit. I'm curious to see if they plan on bringing AJ Klein back at all. If he's one of those,
Right.
roster gymnastics guy. But I honestly, for a while, I didn't think Medications was going to stick just
Yeah, we
because
talked about that. We talked about that.
injured all summer. Some of the young guys have been showing that they're NFL caliber players that been holding their own on special teams. So, with the rule changes and the kickoffs changing, so that might not be as big of a role or importance. I
Right.
wasn't sure if Medications was going to hang around, but at the end of the day, he still has a home and still has a spot. So, that was shock would be too strong of a word, but I kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit. I was like, oh,
Well, we
okay.
well, we talked about it though. We said we had either Metakevich or AJ going,
Yeah.
right? Now we still don't know. You brought up a good point. What have happened in the next 24 hours? So maybe by the time this is released, we'll have that answer by Thursday afternoon. But um I talked about it. I said, Tyler, AJ, do you really keep both? Like, we
Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah,
I
I didn't
don't
see
really need to keep both. I
right.
got Dorian Williams. He could take the role of Metakevich if he needs to. I got Dotson who can play special teams if he's not starting. And obviously we got Terrell Bernard coming back. Balin Spector looking like he'll miss at least 4 games. But yeah, I got enough young pieces at that position. It looks like they probably only gonna keep, though, if I had to guess, 5 linebackers though. Like I talked about it before when I was doing the numbers. I'm like, I don't see them keeping 6. Now, again, they can play with the numbers and do it however they want to do it, but I only see about 5 getting dressed on a Sunday. Just just because of the type of defense that they run, and just because, quiet as kept, besides Milano, Dotson, and Dorian Williams, and maybe Metakevich, if he's on the team, who else you really who else? Okay, now we do know some veterans that got released. Jalen Smith was one of the names that popped up. One of the most intriguing names, it was 2, was really Deion Jones, got released from the Panthers, and then
Cooper.
obviously Christian, what's his name? Christian Kingsley, what's his name?
Talking about Kirksey?
Kirksey, right. Which the Bills have had an eye on before in the past. They've looked at him before, and I think he chose Green Bay to 1 year.
I think of the year or something.
Yeah, it was something Cleveland, and then obviously he played the last 2 seasons in Houston. So I don't know. Maybe he got something against Buffalo, because I thought the last 2 times when he was visiting, I'm like, I know we about to sign this dude, and he chose another team. So I don't know. Maybe he not the right guy, but he has been productive in the league. Um, it's tough for me to say, do you get a veteran right now and expect him to start within, not to say he got to start week 1, but do you expect a guy to pick up the defense and be calling the shots within 30 days? I don't know how realistic that is, but veterans are veterans for a reason. Most veteran linebackers who have been in the league 6, 7, 8, 9 years, they can pick up the terminology and say, all right, listen, y'all help me along the way, but let's get it going. I'll figure it out. So that's why I'm kind of intrigued by those 2 guys, Christian and Deion Jones. Jalen Smith, I think they said that they might put him on the practice squad in New Orleans, which, I mean, I guess I didn't know he was going to go from first, second round pick to being on the practice squad just 4 or 5 years later, but
Never,
it's
it never clicked.
NFL.
Yeah, it just never clicked for Jalen. Like that, I feel like that injury, that college, that destroyed his leg. Like
Yep.
I feel like that he just never really fully recovered from that. But
He like
you know,
that.
I think it's hard to expect any veteran cut at this point to go to a team of this caliber and hop into a starting role. At
Right.
this, I feel like they gonna roll with whoever they roll with.
Right. But
That's
I would be excited.
but I don't see anybody that was cut today as a clear cut upgrade over what we currently have, even though there is a lot of room for improvement.
I'll take Deion Jones on a 1-year deal.
You know,
I'm just saying, like, maybe. There's a
uh,
veteran. Like I said, the veteran ain't got to come in and play week 1. But I would take Deion Jones or Kirksey on a 1-year, $2 million deal just for insurance to say, hey, listen.
I'm not bringing them in to start though.
I mean, eventually I'll say, listen, man, I don't expect you to be in the lineup week 1,
I
but
don't need that.
I don't know.
I rather listen. If I'm gonna get a older vet, which they both are at this point, I think they're both into their 30s.
They got to be, yeah, they got to be in there.
Like I don't need it.
Maybe.
And like
Week 1, hey, we're going to find out one way or the other. Like, we know we're going to miss Terrell. I mean, we're going to miss Tremaine Edmonds this year. That's already clear.
As soon as he got signed.
Yeah.
Well, we knew
But
that.
right, we knew that. Right. Some fans didn't. And some
Yeah,
fans, I
I
don't
don't
even want to get the trolling fans, but some fans gonna get trolled because it's gonna be like, this is what y'all said was very average. Now, what do
pass
you call this?
the side.
So I'm not looking forward to that part, but I will say week one will tell us all a lot.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Terrell Bernard hops back again. We don't have any more preseason games. We don't get to see practice, so we're
Right.
kind of relying on reports. But like, I want to see how he affects this competition because again, Dodson hasn't played great enough to be like, yo, this is my job.
Yeah, nah, he not no weak. I don't see him being a lock to start every game this season.
No, not at all.
So that bless you. And that's what has me again on the fence to see what what may be out there from a veteran. So, like I said, I get both sides to it, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not opposed to just bringing a veteran on as just an extra layer. Like I said, do I want a guy in there that's just going to not suit up for the first 3 weeks? Not ideally, but if that has to be the case, so the guy can kind of get to know the defense and take over that job, so Dotson can just do special teams and Kirksey or whoever can call the defense, I'm with it. But that's just where I'm at because I just like I said, I look at that defense and I'm just like literally middle linebacker away from being a number one, number two defense. And I know they were number two last year, but I'm believing that there'll be a top five defense, but that middle linebacker spot could take them from where I'm thinking they could be at to like number 9, number 10. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it positive, man. You know me, but man, middle linebacker. If we can, who knows? We can be surprised. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Dots can, even if it's not Dotson, Bernard can heal up this week, and we hear from reports that
I can take this job before I'm like, all right, go find me somebody that can do it.
right. It's just I like insurance. That's all. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Listen,
So,
push shove, go find AJ Klein. I'd rather throw his old ass in there before throwing another old ass person who still need to get up to speed with this defense.
I, I mean, AJ Klein. I mean, regardless of if AJ Klein got cut officially or not, like as far as like cut, and they not bringing him back like
Ain't
this
no market
week,
for AJ Klein. If they want him on the practice squad, he'll be on the practice squad.
right? And that's all I'm gonna say. Like they know they can talk to AJ and be like, "Yo, AJ, I need you to stay in shape for like the next 4 months, right? I
Yeah.
bet.
We got
Go
another
home.
6,000 for you. Come through.
Yeah. So go home, but don't be on the couch eating like you retired. Like you know what I mean. You still one phone call away. So we'll see what happens there. Like I said, well, this is a initial reaction to the 53 because as I stated in the beginning of this recording, this shit fresh off the release. Cornerback, nothing drastic there. I think I predicted Alex Austin would probably be on the practice squad. So
Yeah, I feel like corner probably went as expected.
well,
I think
no. Before I forget, I will say I was happy to see that both Cam and Saran Neal made the team.
yeah, I mean they earned it. They
Right.
both
Because I was thinking that might get close to being either or, but I'm glad they both were on the team.
I feel like they both played good enough throughout the off season and OTAs and training camp and in the games to both solidify their spot. I mean, honestly, I think Saran Neal's been the best player on defense all throughout preseason.
Yeah,
Like
especially
hands
especially
down,
since
like he was all over the place. He shit every time you look up, he had a pass breakup, deflection here, deflection there, good tackle there. So I mean, he definitely earned his spot. I mean, this is the best I've seen him play defense since he's been in the league.
right because
I mean, he's
because
been a top tier special teams player this whole time, but he actually looked like he's been holding his own. And now he's the main nickel backup. In a pinch of tearing go down for a little bit, just need a breather. I'm not losing sleep knowing that Neil is gonna hop in there and get a couple snaps. As
right
long as he can do that, keep that same energy into the regular
yeah,
season.
and not getting no holding penalties. That's the only thing I'd be scared of with him because they know he like to be physical. So sometimes refs will use that against him. But overall, like you said, He's been one of the most consistent backups that we've seen out there, along with Cam Lewis and obviously Dorian Williams and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
shout
but
out to
back
Real
wise, cuts went as expected. Hope they're able to get, you know,
Ingram and Austin back.
yeah, that's pretty much all.
Yeah.
Only ones I necessarily really would
All
be.
right, Dean Marlowe probably, he might, get himself back, or they might just do him like I said. Hey, just stay ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If we need a backup safety in a pinch, we're gonna call you. So
right.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it played out the way it should. Then on the secondary backing for sure. What was your thoughts on receiver? What
I also think that kind of went how it should. Now the only part of that we'll find out this week, because like I said, this is without all of the designations, is we'll find out where they place, Khalil. I think Justin Shorter might be going on short-term IR. I don't know if they made the official word on that.
it's not an
Uh,
official thing, but there's been reports that
yeah,
Shorter and Specter going.
okay, so yeah, so that yeah, I mean, I always thought they would keep 6 or 7. So the same six that I had is pretty much gonna be the same six I see on that 53. Obviously, Isabella being the odd man out, but I do believe he's a prime candidate to be on that practice squad.
And
Now,
they're gonna,
obviously,
yeah, because I mean I think that'd be good. But if they do actually put Shorter on IR, whoever is on practice squad,
they can get
they
caught up. Yeah,
caught up.
yeah, that's
Or
Isabella all day. Yeah, you throw Isabella out there.
yeah, because if not, they just gonna roll with 5 healthy receivers every
Yeah,
week for the
which
four.
is fine, because I
Yeah,
like the 5 they got. With Trent Sherfield as my 4, with Hardy as my 3, Shakir as my 5. I like it. You know what I mean?
I think Sherfield gonna be getting a lot of run, man. I,
Oh
I
yeah,
might have him as the 3. Granted, really the option is Kincaid, I believe, but
right, right.
look at
But
it depth.
Sherfield definitely gonna see some time on the field. Like he'll get
Sher-
more time than any other number 4 has probably in the last 3 or 4 years. Because anytime they go 4 wide receivers, obviously they can split Dalton out, as we already said. But if they just want to go 4 wide receivers with Hardy and Sherfield there, Gabe and Diggs on the
All I'm
outside, or
saying is, I think when you're going even in 3 wide receiver sets, I think you're gonna see a lot. I think you're gonna see more Sherfield than you see Hardy. Like I really feel like this.
especially yeah, especially I think you're right, especially when you're talking about um, let's say it's a physical game and you need that number 3 to get in there and maybe disguise a block or
Yeah,
just block on
I
the run.
mean, yeah, he's the best blocking receiver last year according to PFF numbers. So
Yeah,
I think having that one having a great set of hands, but two, having that blocking ability. I know the team loves that. So like I expect him right now to probably be, getting the lion's share of the threes. Not saying Hardy won't see the field a lot at all. That's not what I'm
right.
saying. But in that slot, true receiver slot role,
Yeah.
I think Sherfield's going to be in there a lot.
It'll be fun, man. It'll be fun because I know how tight Miami fans and some players were when he left Miami. And I told you before, we always know that's a good sign when the teammates and the fans are pretty upset when you go. It's always something behind that versus them being like, all right, good riddance. Like, we don't care. All right, on to the next. Like, nah, he's performed everywhere he's went, and everywhere he's went, he's kind of exceeded expectations. I think most times teams pick him up like, yeah, we'll bring him along, special teams, number 5, number 6. Then he ends up getting meaningful snaps. He was out there getting snaps last year with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle
Right.
as their number 3 at times. So I
And that
think it's
job unexpectedly.
right. So that's same thing here. You get picked up as okay, a guy that can be in a convo, but now you got you go through preseason and you get 2 or 3 of the best catches of the preseason. Making contested catches and things like that. So it's another reason why I'm looking forward to, obviously getting the season started because I'm ready to see what Dorsey has in store with these weapons. Because you got a little bit of everything, man. We talked about the running backs over the last few weeks, the different styles that each bring. It's the same thing with the receiver group. Everybody got their own style. Gabe has his own style. Diggs, we already know. Hardy got his own wave. Same thing with Sherfield. We're hoping Khalil can take that next step. We know Justin Shorter, however long it takes him to get back healthy, but we know his upside. And then obviously practice squad guy like Isabella, which I'm saying practice squad because I'm going to assume he's going to be on the practice squad, but he also brings his own flavor as well. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. We can talk about it all we want to, but I know next week when we record, and I'm not saying we ended it right this second, that's going to be the big one. We're going to be really obviously getting ready for week one. I mean, around the league, of course, but also just week one because it's Bills Jets. It's a division game. It's Sunday Night Lights. All we're gonna hear about is Aaron Rodgers. I haven't watched this last episode of Hard Knocks, but I mean, I may even skip this one. I may just want to get right to the one next week when they're preparing for the Bills. But yeah, it's go time, man. Like I said, I'm at a point now where I think we talked about it last week. I'm done analyzing preseason. It's like, all right, we know who's starting. Let's go. Feel
Yeah.
me? So anything else you want to hit it with? Because we can fast forward and get right to next week's pre-convo about how week one gonna go. Because we ain't like,
yeah, I'm cool on the 53 because again, I feel like there's no major surprises there.
it wasn't.
Pretty status quo, so nothing crazy on that end. So yeah.
Right. Well, listen, last thing I'm gonna say is this. Fantasy expert wise, we got to end it on a fantasy note. If there's one running back you feel like every person listening should have going into this season, not named Christian McCaffrey, who you going with?
Bijan Robinson.
Okay. I like it.
That offense has a ton of young talent, but his own ability is out of this world. I mean, I think he's gonna have a big season. Especially, I mean, again, a lot of this is dependent if Ritter can be a serviceable quarterback. Like I'm not even saying like top half of the league. If he can be average, Bijan Robinson can have a crazy season. If he can just take the pressure off of the running game. Because
Right.
if he's a serviceable passer and they're getting the ball out to London, getting the ball out to Pitts, getting out to Patterson, I feel like Bijan can have a very, 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 very good season. And he has pass catching ability himself. So I'm high on the Bijan train, especially depending on when you can grab him. Again, it's not somebody I will be picking, with my first pick necessarily, but if he's hanging around towards the end of one,
Not
especially
a option.
yeah, anywhere in the two, I'm taking him in a heartbeat. But if he's on the back end of the ones, he's definitely on my radar.
I'll tell you like this. I got one rookie I'm gonna definitely have my eye on, and this is when we get towards the middle rounds. I'm talking 6, 7. One of them is Jahmyr Gibbs for the Lions, because I feel like Dan Campbell, as we know, is a physical kind of guy. He gonna try to give him the ball. And hopefully they try to give him the ball in space if they're smart. So when you brought up Robinson, it made me think about the rookie in Detroit. But I think one that people sleep on in that same division is Aaron Jones. I think the easy one to go to is Austin Eckler, because I love Austin Eckler as a round one draft pick. But I think Aaron Jones, I've had him a couple years. He's just reliable.
Bro.
Yeah, he's just reliable. And you think about this year now with no Aaron Rodgers and you got Jordan Love at the helm, you're gonna need a lot of Aaron Rodgers. Especially when the weather get colder and you're gonna need to find different ways to get in the end zone and score. Aaron Jones, and I know they got Dylan still, but Aaron Jones is kind of like that do-it-all back.
Is Dylan always capping them red zone carries,
I
man?
know.
Which understandably so, because Dylan is massive. But
Right. Big as hell.
I've had Aaron Jones a ton over the years, and it's like, yo, bro, can I get 5, 6 more touchdowns?
Yeah, hopefully that don't be James Cook this year, right?
Yeah, it probably will be. James Cook better score from outside the 15 because they put that ball inside the 5.
That Jane going to Harris or Murray.
Yeah, come off the field, James. Good run,
That's
baby.
right, good run, but you gotta get off the field.
That's a good run. Come on, Playboy.
Yeah, those are my two running backs to keep an eye on after the usual suspects. Because, like I said, it's easy to go with Eckler. I think it's easy to go with McCaffrey, easy to go with Josh Jacobs. All of those are solid, like
Yeah.
guaranteed Derrick Henry round one picks.
You
But
touch you touching Jonathan Taylor at all? Like,
I'm not touching him. I think that it'd be smart. If you've already, let's say, grabbed your number one running back to get him as maybe your number two.
first 4 weeks and in these situations is just
Yeah,
hella dicey.
it's just too tough. It's just too tough for me. Like I'm a stay away, but I'm not mad at somebody who does take that chance because the reward may be crazy. But
Yeah,
this,
I feel like it's gotta be for me, it's gotta be further down the line, man. It can't be first three,
yeah, that
four
to
rounds.
me, I'm not, I'm damn near not touching them. But if I was, it have to be like after round 5 or 6.
Yeah, but again, I'd still like I feel like somebody would pull the trigger sooner than that
Oh
just
yeah,
because
and I'll be like thumbs up. Yeah, good job.
if
Yeah,
he had enough, I feel like I would have to take him.
yeah.
But I
I'm just
kind of
not pressed. I don't like dealing with suspensions. I don't like dealing with turmoil like with the team.
same thing here. It's like with Jameson Williams missing a good chunk of the season because of his gambling suspension. Is that somebody
Right.
that's on there?
Jameson Williams, no. He another one. Like I said, I try not to touch any because I look at it like this. I be stressed out enough keeping up with Bills news. I don't have time to keep up with the Lions news, with the
Yeah,
Colts news, with the Jaguars news. I'm
fair.
not doing all of that. I like listen, you already know how it is when we tailgate in Buffalo. So like if it's 10:30, 11 o'clock, I'm not trying to check my phone to try to see what's going on with my player while I'm 4 cups in.
Yeah, of the Brown.
Yeah, nah, I'm good. I'm trying to set my lineup. All right, I know. All right, I know Mike Evans playing. I know this guy playing. I know he playing. Boot. All right, I'm good. I'm trying to set my lineup by 11 o'clock at the latest. There's times when okay, I'm walking in the stadium and it's like 12:15,
And
and
that's
I'm
the
trying.
worst. That signal's terrible in line.
Yeah. So it's times when I've had to do that, but preferably I'm waking up in the morning. I'm trying to keep up with Adam Scheffner tweets because he going such and such questionable, such and such a game time. Like even if you a game time decision, guess what? I'm taking you out my lineup because guess what? Guess who not waiting until 12:30 to figure out if you playing or not? I'm not. So guess
Fact.
what? You're on the bench, buddy. So yeah, I try to think about it while I'm going through the draft. Like anybody that's dealing with like major injuries, suspension, drama, holdout, all that stuff. Nah, I'm good. Mm-mm. I'm good. I'm only doing this shit for fun, really. And if I make money, I make money. But I don't got time to be keeping up with your team, man. Hell
Yeah,
no.
I hear that. I hear that. I'm gonna try to take Jameson Williams as a flyer at some point if I can get him in later rounds if he's
Right.
hanging out. Because again,
Minus 12.
I think Detroit's gonna have a nice little offense
Yeah,
again.
it's gonna be interesting. We'll know more in a week.
Yeah, I
We'll
like
know, we'll know it exactly. Yeah, we'll know in a little over a week.
because I
Uh,
like Brown a lot, and
oh yeah, he nice.
yeah,
He
so
nice.
like
And
and
of course Jameer Gibbs and we know what Goff going to do. Goff going. I mean, he going 19 for 28, 220.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So those some players I'm definitely keeping my eye on.
Listen,
Uh,
I, what?
I feel like Dalton Kincaid is slowly rising up on my tight end board.
He definitely
Trying
my tight end too.
Bills homer when it comes to fantasy, but I feel like the writing is on the wall for this offense. They want that boy involved, and I
Yeah,
think they want him involved a lot. So that's kind of hard for me to ignore at this point.
I got him with a smooth 6 to 8 touchdowns. A smooth 6 to 8. It's
I agree with that.
yeah, it's coming. Because like I'm telling you right now, if you don't guard that middle of the field,
It's a wrap.
and he's one-on-one with your linebacker or your safety,
It's over. Easy money.
and Josh know that because he was looking for it last game and they was holding him in the end zone. So it's like,
1-on-1. Cool bet. Thanks.
yeah, touchdown.
Yep. Throw the hands up early.
I love it. But anyways, listen, y'all, we not gonna hold y'all too long. I know me and my man Z, we done had busy schedules, busy weeks going on, and hopefully when football season come around to slow down. But we know that's not gonna happen. I already looked at my September calendar and I just looked at that shit and just shook my head because I was like, oh nah,
Mhm.
I'm just
I
busy
feel
every
that.
week. I'm just busy every week, still training at work, still a bunch of meetings. I got a road game coming up.
Which one y'all going to? Or which one you going?
Washington. Yep. So we'll be out there. And then shit, I got my own other stuff going on. We got a wedding to go to out there in October. It just don't stop. Two birthdays, obviously my birthday and my wife's birthday in November.
Right.
I mean, the next 4 months about to be like this. This a blur. You know what I mean? A whole lot of stuff. So guess what I like to do though, y'all? And I hope y'all take the same advice day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Shit.
day by day, man. Never get too caught up in what you got going on where you just always stressed out about what you gotta do this weekend, what you gotta do the next weekend. It's always good to be organized. I do believe in organization, but don't get too overwhelmed because this whole being an adult and having responsibilities and trying to be here, trying to be there, it can cause you to like really, know what I mean, want to fucking burst. But take it a day at a time, hour by hour. That's one of the things I pray every morning. I'll be like, yo, God, just allow me to enjoy today. Let me take in today. Let me take in this hour and let me be thankful each minute. So hopefully y'all are ready. We are one step closer, man. We feel like we say this every week, but this is really it. No more preseason, no more training camp, no more St. John Fisher. This is it. They're practicing. They're in my store. They're in the city. These guys are getting ready. They're getting their families back in Buffalo. Gear up, y'all. We getting ready for Aaron Rodgers. So, Z, anything else you want to hit him with?
It's 13 days, baby. That, that's it. 13 days and we here.
That's it. Next time we'll be talking to y'all, we'll be talking single digits. So, listen, I hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, we ain't got the official 53, but we got it close enough on this Tuesday night. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this as always, man. Like, share. We got some people that we're gonna definitely connect with soon. I know we say that every week, but for real, starting to receive some DMs. So we appreciate those who have, even if you just listen to a snippet, I appreciate those who share the snippets, who comment, who reach out, whether it's individually or just
Yeah, every last one of those things helps, and we definitely appreciate it all. So just continue to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You
tell them.
know, we appreciate all that because again, we want to just comment, we want to vibe with y'all, we want to interact with y'all. So just keep hitting us up, we'll keep
And,
putting
and
out.
and I will add this: believe as the season goes up, man. If y'all catch one of us at a home game, road game, feel free to stop, man. Chop it up with us if you got two or three thoughts. I mean, you know, what I mean, you gotta hope you catch us in our right mind, though, so we can remember you. But nah, like, yeah, I mean, if you recognize us anywhere, Buffalo is so damn small. You know what I mean? We not strangers. I mean, even if you catch us on our profession, both me and Z, we do a lot of work in Western New York, in our own profession. So
Out here.
don't, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid. I mean, I know sometimes I work Dewey, but without the Dewey, it's still same me. So anyways, man, we appreciate you all.
Moving
Continue
these.
to check in every week. You said what now, Z?
So I be out here. I put my professional face on when I'm out here
Oh
moving
yeah.
these houses.
Yeah, same thing with me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's a professional and is me outside of work, but all together, man. Nah, I mean, still good guy. So anyways, hopefully y'all enjoyed. Like I said, man, we got one more episode to record before the big thing. So um as we said, we appreciate y'all and shit, we about to sign up out of here.
We gonna catch y'all next week, baby. We love
All
you. I
right,
appreciate
man.
y'all.
Yes, sir. Peace out.